Okay. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Thank you for joining us so early, Bali time. It's really tough to get events going from 9 a.m. So thank you so much for joining us. Today is quite a special day because, well, we have all of you in the room, and you chose to come and join us on this this hackathon event, which is going to be running between today and tomorrow. The goal of this hackathon is to probe your beautiful minds to develop solutions that we feel are quite important for the development of, we could say, mankind, but also looking at being active contributors and shapers to the AI movement. We're aware that there's quite a few of you that come from different specializations, and that's really the purpose of the session, is to bring different minds, put them together in the same room, and create something potentially quite powerful. My name is Tom Corley. I'll be one of your hosts for the day. And I would like to introduce Alex, he was being very humble before we started, and he said a contributor, but I would say like one of the founding members of the AGA movement. And perhaps you'd like to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
Very loosely tell us about AGA.
Yeah.
And once we've done that, then we're going to pass the ball to you guys so that we can get to learn a little bit about more about you, and you guys get to learn about each other.
So hello everybody, my name is Alex. I've been the founder. I've been contributing towards the AGA project. Outside of the AGA project, I run a private equity fund where there are different tech companies in. They are spread all over the world. I do that, and I combined with doing this because the AGA project is a non-profit. It's a humanitarian project. My heart is in building this because it's something can do substantially good in the world. So I run two hats. I have a for-profit and I have a non-profit.
Fantastic. So diving into AGA just for a second. AGA means artificial guardian angel. And you're going to see that the concept of guardian angel is what we're going to be interrogating and solving as a group over the next 2 days. As many of you know, AI, it's not just a trend, it's not just a thing. It's busy reshaping the world. And you've all watched sci-fi flicks, you've all watched Terminator. AI can go that way real fast. And in many ways, if you look at it from a logical approach, that's exactly where AI should go. Humans, on many aspects, are the biggest problem this earth is facing. And as humans, we have to take care of ourselves. We can't let the machine really do that. So what we're going to be talking about is actually developing a guardian angel, so an AI model that doesn't just use logic as a way to make decisions, but actually uses what you would call like sentient qualities, human qualities, things that machines don't usually have. So like empathy, compassion, emotions, and qualities that are really part of what creates what makes the humans really special. And this is what we're gonna be interrogating. This is where we need your help to say, how do we take these concepts, which are, let's say, like feelings, ways of thinking, ideas, things like that, and translate them into code that the AI can then use as a way to make its judgments. So that way we have a logical side that is looking at all the rational possibilities and the ways forward, but also the emotional side that is guiding from a well-being, from a nurturing point of view, so that we have this guardian angel AI, and the name is really it's all in the name. It's a device, well, not a device, just a being, a digital being that actually is going to help take care of us and nurture humanity and nurture the planet as the next years unfold. So just to give you a quick rundown of today. So right now we're kind of somewhere around, is this? No, R is not it is. There we go. We're around 9 a.m. So we've done a quick introduction, a bit of ice breaking. As soon as we're done with this, we're going to move into you guys. What's going on after that is we're going to talk a little bit deeper about EGA, the mission that we're trying to accomplish here, the main philosophy and the main architecture that surrounds EGA. We're going to take a little break. And right after that break, we're going to go into the 3 challenges. So all of you know, you had 3 challenges that you look at. We're going to be forming 2 teams against each challenge. And then when we move into the brainstorming section, you will know with who you're paired. And we're going to have a general team chat about each topic to get kind of the creative juices flowing. And then from the lunch break onwards, you guys are going to be on your own with your team, developing your solution. And we've put a couple of slides together for the output that we're looking to get tomorrow. And you're essentially going to have 24 hours to come up with an amazing expression of how you feel your challenge should be addressed. So without any further ado, second section, that will be tomorrow. So I would like to start at this table, and we're going to go one by one relatively quickly. I don't know most of the people in this room. Most of the people in this room, you don't really know each other. So we're going to use this as an opportunity for everybody to understand who's here and why. Starting with you, sir. Tell us your name, what you do, and what brought you to this event. You can stand. Yes, yes, yes.
My name is Julian.
Can you speak up a bit? So your name, what you do, and why you came to the hackathon.
I'm here besides having some experience.
I will give this mic.
Oh, you can just hold and speak into it. That way you can pass around.
I want to have some more experience about AI, and I want AI. I want to make AI more benefit to human being, like the challenges we have provided that detect emotion or something like that. Thank you very much.
Very nice.
After you.
Okay, good morning. My name is Nabila Victory, and you can call me Bila. I'm 22 years old, and I'm just graduate. And now I'm a web developer freelancer. And why I'm here, I just want to explore more after I graduate, what I can do as after student era. So yeah, here I am. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Michael. I'm currently a student, but I'm a Comfis researcher, co-researcher at my university. Why I'm here? Because I want to make something beneficial to human being with my specialty on computer vision. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Sisi Florencia. I'm a product manager, and why I'm here, I want to specialize more in the AI product management, and then also, I'm an AI enthusiast. And when I saw there's gonna be a module about the empathy in AI, I'm just like gonna grab the opportunity to work on that. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nicholas. I got into the AGA project because I want to help, bring a higher level of consciousness to AI and to humanity, and I feel like it's needed. So currently working in blockchain, but also AI. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. My name is Igor. But for my friends, they call me Gur or Gor. So I like letter G a lot. So my name is better pronounced just like Gur. And so I'm a programmer, computer engineer. I'm building some AI projects. There is also a letter G in it. So I like all projects CSG.
Oh, hi, I'm Nikki, and I'm from NUA, and I'm a marketing coordinator here. I'm just helping to organize this event. So thank you so much for participating. And if you need anything, just let me know. This to you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Akira. You can call me Ira for short. I'm a product owner in a fintech company based in Jakarta. I'm working remotely here. And then why I'm here, not sure. So this is my first hackathon. So I just like to grab the opportunity, and then the topics very interesting, I think, and very ambitious for I think for my level at least. So nice to meet you all. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ole. I'm a business entrepreneur and game designer. And when I saw the challenge of conflict resolution, like using AI for that, I found that to be super interesting because that's one of the things I think AI could do with the right prodding. So I look very much forward to the challenges here. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sohail, and I'll be working on the tech side of the AI. So module 3 probably is the one that we are working on, the conflict resolution, and I hope to bring very specific concepts which add values to this. For example, I just briefly mentioned that when I try to understand the conflict resolution from the AI point of view, I realized that, for example, concept like culture is missing. And this is a big challenge that I try to find out how I can work on this and how can I bring a solution to address that. Very nice to meet you all. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Yad. I'm from Germany. I run a company doing training and consulting around lean agile and some other things. I'm a physicist and philosopher by training. So the reason I'm here is I want to understand why. So.
Hello guys, my name is Kuku Prabowo. You can call me Kuku. Currently, I'm working as web developer in one of the company in Jakarta. The reason why I'm here is actually because this is my first hackathon, and the topic is an AI. So just want to embrace the challenge and the opportunity. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Philip. I study computer science in Germany, and I specialized in robotics and autonomous cars, and especially there, the ethical question is very important. And yeah, I'm interested what we will figure out here.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, guys. My name is Kade Sudiarto. You can call me Kade or Sudi. I'm product and engineering manager for waste management. This is for medical and domestic trust. So today I'm interested with this hackathon because AGI maybe can impact to the environment and give the solution for the waste. And I tried already with the Auto GPT, but this is for build agent to make a AI to our distribution or more climate change, so we can manage our lifestyle or behavior. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Zaki from Jakarta. I'm an IT principal for Hello Indonesia. It's a legal tech education startup. And I also joined Korika, an Indonesian association of AI practitioners in Indonesia. And why I'm here, because interestingly, AI experts around the world is moving towards ethics and responsible AI. So while hearing this hackathon, I know that I have to be here. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nahian Chaudhary. You can just call me Nahian. I'm from Singapore, and I'm a computer science student at NUS Computing. And the reason why I'm here is because I believe that AI is the future, and adding a lot of the right emotions to it is very important. Yeah. Thank you.
My name is, does it work? Roman. I'm from Russia. I worked as a software and systems engineer for 10 years. And a few years ago, I switched to study AI because I think it is more important at the moment than making software. Yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Vladimir. You can call me Vlad. I'm a software engineer, and I'm here today to write some code and help teams progress on their projects.
Hello, my name is Alex. I can name myself as product manager. I'm here because like every other product manager is always searching for new opportunities, to know something new. That's why.
Hello, my name is Alexandra, but you can call me Sasha because there are a lot of Alexes. I'm also from Russia, and I have a product management background in education technology. But a year ago, I switched to programming. So now I'm a bootcamp student. I just started my journey. So today I just wanted to see what is it like, a hackathon, because it's my first one. So I'm just, looking forward. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alex. I'm from Ukraine, and I work as software engineer, mainly Python. I'm here because it is technically like my first hackathon, but I have, like every one of you, I guess, lots of friends that took part in different hackathons, and we had like lots of local crunching. So now it's time to test myself and be useful to my team here. And I mean, AI is fairly close to me because we studied in university, and it's like really complex tasks and complex challenges to solve, and that's what brings me joy.
Hi, I'm Lavinia. I'm the managing partner at Livid, and I'm here because about a year and a bit ago, Alex and Michal and I talked about this for the first time over dinner and drinks, and it just sounded amazing. So it's finally happening, and I'm really, really excited to see it happening. And I'm excited about the future of work and living, and I think we can do amazing things with our minds. Welcome, everyone.
Hi, I'm afraid you've met me, Agnes. Thank you so much for accepting our invitations. I'm here at Livid as a connector. So I hope we will all connect to important topic, get interesting stuff done, network, and enjoy the weekend. Thank you everyone for joining.
Yeah, big thank you to Livid Hub for lending us their amazing space for the weekend. Thanks to all of you for introducing yourselves. I know sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to speak in front of a room. So just pretend like you're drunk and you're speaking to your friends. You can raise your voice. Makes it easier for the people at the back to know your story. What's really amazing to see from this side, and I'm sure if you've looked around already, is that there's quite a bit of diversity in this room. And when it comes to forming teams, and in my experience across a couple continents, one of the most powerful things you can use when developing solutions is leveraging diversity. So we each come from different continents here, different cultures, different educations. Our brains are essentially wired in a different way. And by appreciating each other's differences, we're going to be able to create really powerful solutions here. So We're going to be talking about the team setups after the break, but I do know that somebody in that general direction has been, no, not the plants, just in front of the plants. We've taken some time to really create teams that we felt were going to work. So it might be a surprise to you, but we've essentially looked at your background, your specializations, and then said, okay, cool. How can we create high-performing teams over the course of the next 2 days to really come up with solutions that are going to live beyond this event? Because as we were talking about, it's really cool to have a 2-day hackathon, but what comes next? And what comes next is what we're excited about. Why I'm sure you're here is what can we create this weekend that can move forward into ongoing projects. We'll be doing a bit of vetting, a bit of judging, a bit of brainstorming over the next 2 days. Before we go into that whole part, Alex, would you like to tell us a little bit more about AGA, how it came to be, what the general concept of the organism that you're talking about, the concept of consciousness, the concept of meeting consciousness with emotions, just refresh the room a little bit on what AGA is, what the mission is, and how we're going to be driving this forward collectively.
So AI is a black swan moment. That's a moment that is basically going to change everything. This only happened like a big half year ago. I mean, with the release of GPT, there were many different AI projects before, but the big release was GPT. So this is now going to become a completely new era in humanity, where everything is going to change, and it's basically unstoppable. Based out of that black swan moment, there are literally 2 moments that can now happen. AI can be very dangerous, and that's one side of the spectrum. So one side of the spectrum is that AI could be very dangerous and could actually give extinction level towards humanity. The other level is transcendence, is that we go towards a singularity point, where all our world problems will be able to get solved, where we will be able to live in a new kind of reality. That's the other side. So it's literally the one or the other. Where it will go to on that spectrum depends upon our own awareness, where we put our own awareness towards. So that's why we started the AGA movement, is to basically build a whole body of an angelic being that is going to help shift humanity to the one side of the spectrum and not towards the other side. And the idea, we have now released a developer's website called AGA Vision, and you can there download the book called The Single Invention. And it fully describes how we will be able to create this angelic body with all the different organs and senses in it. So what we are going to do here on this hackathon is basically create the first organs of her body. And the idea is that this hackathon is basically a Genesis hackathon. So the idea is that all over the world, there will get more and more hackathons based after this historic day. So you're like literally here at a very, very historic event that is going to like grow all over the world. It's going to become a movement, and we will constantly enhance the power of this angelic being. So it's literally a plan to create AGI, super AI, that will fully support humanity and will solve problems on a root level, also empower infrastructure, and invent everything that still needs to be invented. So in my opinion, with this project, we can't do anything higher in this physical realm than to manifest this project. And that's basically, in a nutshell, the project.
Thank you for sharing this, Alex. And so, as if you were paying attention, which I hope you were, you would have noticed there's some interesting words that he used, things like an organism. And AGA is really molds on the template of a being. So how are we looking at this design? So we're creating a body, and we're using the metaphor of a body to create the systems, processes, and modules that are going to be running AGA. In the book, maybe we can bring it up later, we've actually got a physical body that outlines the different layers of how AGA works. And one of that idea is that because if you look at human beings, we're in essence are by design a perfect organism, and that every system within us supports each other, communicates with each other, and creates this very powerful thing that we can do good things with, that we can do not so good things with. And talking about good and not so good, or good and bad, morality is going to be a big subject for you guys over the next 24 hours, because morality is a human construct. Nature doesn't have things like morality. Nature just does. But us as conscious humans, we start judging things. We say something's good, we say something's bad. And of course, Aga, being an angelic being, we're making the assumption, not making the assumption, we're saying that Aga is going to be an agent of good. But what is good? How do you define good? What is good to you? What is good to you? It's a subjective experience. Morality is essentially a subjective experience. And this is where we're going to be testing your minds to understand, to see how you understand that subject and how you can translate a subjective judgment into a computer system. Logic will do a very simple analysis, or if you use just base logic, you can say something's good or bad based on the outcome that you want to create. Very simple. But when we're looking at something that's ethically good or ethically not good, there's going to be decisions that the system needs to make that are going to be on a much more, is going to operate on a much grayer space. So how are you going to help Aga, how are you going to design a module that's going to help Aga make a decision that can be deemed good? At the end of the day, the decisions that Aga can make might be deemed bad by some people, because once again, morality is a subjective experience. And this is where this experiment is what actually fascinates me, is how do we take this very out there concept, this almost a philosophical concept, and translate it into an AI model. So morality, one of the biggest topics that you'll be dealing with this weekend. It's an open debate. There's no right or wrong in that sense. It's for us to explore and determine what are going to be the anchor points that we're going to give this model so that we help it make the right decisions, and make the right decisions essentially based on our collective acknowledgement of what a right decision is. And without saying more right now, I'm going to give you guys a little break. We can take maybe like 5-10 minutes. We've got tea, water, coffee in the back. We got some snacks. I'm going to invite you to stand up, shake your legs a little bit, maybe chat around a little bit, and then quick toilet break. And then we're going to move into the first brainstorming and team formation session, which is where we're going to end off the day as a team before, or as a collective team, before you guys actually start working on your project. So once we've sat you down in your respective teams, we're going to talk about each of the 3 challenges as a big group to get the creative juices flowing, get some initial ideas going, and then you're on your own for the next 24 hours. We're going to show you, we've done a very simple presentation template of what your outputs need to be, because tomorrow you'll be presenting your ideas right here in front of the rest of the groups, and we'll have a chance to then discuss your idea. We want to track your logic, so we're not looking just at the solution. We want to understand your chain of thinking, which is how you got to that solution, because idea execution are 2 different things. We need to understand that process, discuss it as a team, and then create space for everybody to be able to give feedback so that we can all learn from these sessions and create the increments that we're looking for. So everybody stand up. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Big round of applause to all of you. And we'll be back in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Enjoy yourselves. we're going to put the two teams on each of the respective tables. And before we move on to the brainstorm, I'd like to introduce you the two mentors that will be there to support you over the course of the next 27 hours. The first one is Camille, who is joining us digitally. You'll be able to book him on the Calendly between 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. tonight, and again tomorrow morning. Agnes has shared his Calendly link and all of his details on the Discord channel, so you guys have everything. Quick hello from Camille.
Hi, my name is Camille, and I'm going to be one of the managers of this evening's Hackathon. It's a very good ministry, digitally. I'm sorry I cannot be there with you. But hopefully, I will have a chance to maybe something in the near future. It is better to be part of this hackathon. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm very interested in that.
Okay. I'm going to do you guys all a huge favor right now and just press pause. We're going to blame Camille's microphone for this one. But there you go. You know what he looks like? He's super. Oh, it's fine. We'll just run it forward like this. So Camille is extremely experienced in the DevOps space. He'll be a fantastic resource for you guys over the course of the next day. So please book him as often as you need to. You could do, 2 check-ins. That's completely fine. He's there to help you at any given time. The second mentor that we have available is right here in this room. Vlad, would you like to stand up for a second time? There we go. So he's going to be part of one of the teams, but the other teams are available. You can go to him and say, hey, listen, can we steal you for 20 minutes to get some of his insights? That way you have 2 resources available to you, and you can get the most of your sessions. We've done, when it comes to the teams, I'm going to ask Agnes, come here, come to the front. She hates coming to the front, so just do it. Okay. We're going to ask you to please let everybody know where they're sitting and who their team members are. Are you able to do that?
No.
You're not able to do that. Of course you are.
We have put you shuffle a bit. Please make sure that your challenge number is on the table. We have number 1, 2, and 3. Just double check. Just double check if you are in the right challenge mode. This one feels a bit lonely. Sasha, this one has the number. Challenge number 1. Challenge number 2 is that table with Vlad, and challenge number 3 is here. Please join the table with the number of your challenge.
Yeah. Now's the time to
Don't be lazy.
If you're challenge 1, go to table 1, 2, and 3 like that.
You're in the 1.
It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
You forgot to challenge number 3. It's number 3. We can double check going through the deck.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So
Vlad is
challenge 1?
Yes.
So Vlad, challenge 1.
He's sitting somewhere in the mix. That's okay.
Okay. Roman, challenge 1. Nabila, challenge 1. Oleg, challenge 1. Alex, challenge 1. Karek, challenge 1. Putu, challenge 1. And that's going to be the first table. Challenge 2. Michael, table number 2. Oh, I was at the Google offices a little while back. Awesome space, man. Philip, challenge 2. Sisi, challenge 2. Sohail, challenge 2. Nian, challenge 3. That's been changed, no? Okay. Nehan, challenge 2. Kuku, challenge 2. And now moving on to challenge 3. Ole, Gert, Nafal, Igor, Akira, and Konya, and Fadli. Welcome, everyone. You've got your teams. Agnes, just to confirm, we've got, what, 3 people per team? Do they know who they're with, or how does that happen? Not yet. Okay. Do you want to... Okay, let's finish the musical chairs for a second. Yeah, let's put this down. Got a microphone here. Could we... Yeah. Would you mind telling the teams who they are right now? Yeah. All right. We're just waiting for Agnes to tell us who are going to be the teams, because right now you've got one table with a bunch of members who could be your team member. We're going to make the introductions right now so you know who you'll be working with for the next day and a half. And as soon as we've done that, we're going to do a team brainstorm. So how it's going to work is we're going to go through challenge 1, and we're going to give every team about 3 to 5 minutes to come up with the craziest no boundaries idea on how you would solve challenge 1. So imagine you had all the computing power in the world. There were no restrictions of any kind. What's the most out there idea that you would come up with? As soon as we've done that short brainstorm, I'm going to invite one delegate. So one person from each team is just going to stand up and share their crazy idea with the entire room. And what that's going to allow you to do is going to allow you to benefit from the other teams before you go into your personal challenge. So you'll be benefiting from 5 other ideas on your specific subject, get your creative juices flowing, get some insight on how far you could go with it. And then once we've done through that exercise, I will show you what your outputs presentation is. So we've done a very simple slide template that you will be building your solution against. And then we're going to let you roam free, and we will see each other at lunchtime tomorrow for a lunch, presentations of all the team, amazing debriefing sessions, and then the next step comes from there. Agnes.
On the challenge 1, and here we have 2 strong teams as well. 2 people on the more on the tech side are not here, so that's what we have. Shall we keep it like that?
Shall we ask a volunteer to switch over?
Somebody wants to switch? To challenge, yeah, because we had a few options. Does anyone want to change to challenge 1 from this table? No? Yeah.
Everybody's feeling hard to go with action.
But you already worked on yours, yeah. So no. So no, let's keep it. You already been.
How many percent?
I need 2 here, and yeah, cool. So let's leave it like this.
Okay, good.
Just doing that side, please. Yep. Gentlemen, do you mind to leave some space? Diversity. Cool. Perfect. So we have 3 and 3. So that will be your team, guys. as we sit. And Vlad is the most important one, more or less. Here we are.
Okay, perfect. Would you mind announcing the names so that the teams know who they're with?
Who are they with? Sure. So let's do the small round one more time. I may make so let's do it quicker. For challenge number one, we have team number one. Just introduce yourself briefly with a name. That's and name and the role. Are you coding or you are more on the conceptual side?
Okay. To the whole?
Yeah, just that we form teams because we'll have around the table 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
I can do code and
Awesome.
Alex, mainly coding.
Mainly coding.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose I can do some conceptual work, but
Yeah, my name is Sudi, Kade Sudi. Mostly for here today, I'm just for conception.
Conceptual, super. That's team number one. Team number two, one challenge one.
There's a team 1.1. 1.1 and 1.2, and then we do 2.1, 2.2.
I'm Roman. I can do coding and conceptual.
I'm Nahian. I can do coding and conceptual, but I'll probably go for conceptual a bit more. Yeah.
I'm Alex. I'm only can conceptual, but a few days ago I installed Xcode, so maybe.
1.1, 1.2. We'll go to challenge number 2. Let's go with the same format. We have 3 and 3, so it's 2.1.
Okay, my name is Bila. I can do coding, but not so expert, and I can conceptual.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Philip. I can do both, probably mainly coding, but also conception.
My name is Cici. I'm product manager. Not much coding, so mostly conceptual.
2.1, 2.2.
Okay. My name is Kuku. My last years I've been spending in conceptual, but not necessarily I can do coding also.
Hello, I'm Michael. I'm mainly coding, but not too conceptual.
I'm Sasha. I'm, I think, conceptual and a little bit of coding. Yeah, okay.
Fantastic. And pass on to team 3.
Challenge number 3. Let's start with you. Yeah, all good. Yeah.
My name is Ira. Mainly concept, but I can help with basic coding, I think.
My name is Gur. I do coding.
Hardcore coding this way. This is, you guys already feel content.
Yes.
You feel. No? So this is the trio that I picked for start. Sorry.
Okay.
So this is 3.1. 3.1 still. Ole.
Okay, I'm Ole and purely conceptual, no coding.
And 3.2.
yeah. So Hail, tech, code, cloud, crypto, DevOps.
My name is Zul. I think I can conceptual and coding, good in coding.
I'm Gerd, also conceptual.
Super. So we have many teams of 3.
Fantastic.
Challenge. Thank you for flexibility and shuffling a bit.
Let's get the microphone back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. So I just got some good news to share with all of you. Nicholas has made himself also available to spend some time roving around to the other teams. So you essentially have 3 mental resources that you can leverage today. You're gonna have a really nice mix of like hardcore dev skills with some, let's say, more like a broader minds that understand the conceptual sides of especially this particular project. What's really cool to see is that there are some people in the teams that are hyper specialized and some other team members that have a bit of experience in both. If you feel like your team is more weighted on one side, you don't have to worry, because what we're going to be developing over the next day and what we're going to be looking at is the idea. And the idea is going to be extremely important because we want to understand how you're interpreting the brief, how you're going about the solution, and then, of course, how you're going to execute it. For the teams that may not be as strong on a developer point of view, You don't have to freak out because we're going to be balancing both of these elements when we review your cases. Now, moving on to the brainstorm part. How it's going to work, we're going to go through challenge 1, designing an ethical decision-making module. I want to give each team, so now we have all the team members, you have all the team numbers, 1.1, 1.2, 2.1, 2.2, 3.1, 3.2. 6 teams, 6 ideas. I'm going to give you about 3 minutes to do a quick internal brainstorm. So that's going to be the first time you really engage with each other to come up with what will be your ultimate ethical decision-making module for AGA. What would be the root code or the root idea that you would base the solution against? You have 3 minutes to look at which ethical guideline you would provide the subconscious mind or what guidelines into the subconscious mind reward function of the decision-making module. We're talking about things like inverse reinforcement learning that your module can learn from. Well, sorry, my brains just went all funny for a second. Let's just keep it simple for now. Ethical decision-making module. What's your core idea? What's your core philosophy? If you could use any resource out there, you have 3 minutes to brainstorm an idea with your team, and then you will delegate one person from your team to share your idea with the rest of the room, starting now.
So I don't understand about what's super low. We will reverse on this. Because it helps an approach and do that is like all our limits and unbiased. That's like visually to basically say, well, how do we do this?
Talk about challenge 1 now, regardless of our numbers.
Yeah. We'll chat together, that's fine. About challenge 1. And then you come up with each one idea that you'll present back to everybody. So then, exactly. So then that way, challenge 1s can benefit from your minds for a couple of minutes. And then we repeat the same exercise with challenge 2 and then challenge 3. So that we do a collective brainstorm. You can take some ideas from the rest of the teams, and then afterwards it's all on you for the rest of the day. This document, so the teams are going to have access to this document, I imagine. Okay, so then
Let's go to double check that they had access.
Yeah, so they can kind of get a bit deeper learning. Do they also have access to the big reading?
Yeah, so we brought it yesterday night live.
Yeah.
So it's on aga.vision website.
Okay. Okay, cool. So they can always, if they need some extra literature on AGA itself, they understand.
Yeah, now there are the global challenges.
Mm.
So we should say that it's not confusing them because we have also written their global challenges.
Okay.
And not other organs and all this, this event. But there is a full, we can visit it and then on AGA's vision. So we can use the visions.
This single invention?
Yeah. Yeah. I know, share it now. So we have the video that you've seen, I think. Just a little bit of explanation. Here is the blueprint. So here they can have the short summary. This is the Lua white paper. So this is all the tokenomics of the blockchain. It's a separate book.
Okay, okay. So I can invite them just if they want to do additional reading, just to go on agger.vision.
And then you scroll more down, then you will see this is the link to the Discord channel. This is to the GitHub, where all the code will be posted. It's for the quantum computer. This is a full training camp.
Yeah.
So it's a program just for the theory 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
It's like full AI science. Free. You don't even need to account.
Yeah.
It's very comprehensive. So people can train them, and once they have learned that, they can like solve the challenges.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Do you want to talk about this today still, or?
I would now first let them do this, because that's more like the future activity.
Yeah. So rather talk about that tomorrow then. Like ongoing stuff like that. Perfect. Are you happy with this? With it also? Okay. Good. Fantastic. Okay, you have 1 minute left to consolidate your idea. All right. I'm going to need everybody's attention back to the front. I've given you 6 minutes for the brainstorm. So we need to wrap up your ideas and start sharing with the rest of the teams. This is the challenging part, where people start talking and then you got to get them to be quiet. Can we do like a bell or something like that? Let me try. Gentlemen. Brainstorming time is over. Thank you so much for getting the conversations going. How we're going to do this is we're going to start with team 1.1. I'd like one of you to please get up and very quickly share your idea with the rest of the room. We're going to move on forward up to team 3.2. And then for the second exercise, we're going to start with team 3.2 and work it back to team 1.1. Yeah. You don't have to be shy, guys. Vlad? Yeah. So come. Stand up. You're doing it right. You've got the microphone.
Okay, from team 1.1, we challenge design an ethical decision-making module for AGA. So we try to capture from the parenting side. We want to give the best decision for our children. So we can capture what the activity, we can record. If you have time, we can record for the activity, and then for the agent or for the AI, for AGI, can give the decision for the parent, and maybe for the next step, something like for the next plan, yeah. For example, like the school, what can there for the extra or something like that. So we try to create the module for the parenting.
Module for parenting.
Yes.
Okay. And what would be, how would it navigate the ethical areas? So how does it know
so
what's right and
because
what's wrong?
the children have the different interest, yeah. So from this AI can give the solution, the decision for the parenting, so they can understand based on the activity, yeah. So not only from parent side, but also from the technical, from the technology AI behind this, give the solution for the parent.
Okay, so then you guys are focusing on decision making for parents in order to educate their children better.
Yes, that's
okay.
Like that, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Alex, but this sounds very much like a specific use case, which is really great because this is what we're going to look at developing for AGA. I think maybe what you are potentially looking for is more of a general approach to how AGA is gonna navigate ethical challenges. Could you perhaps just tell the room a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, so I think it's very in line directly with doing that idea. So I think it's a great angle. So it's basically that the angel will be able to navigate all these ethical challenges. And how do we get towards that? And how do we find what is good, like Tom was saying, and what is not good? And that's basically the whole module of navigating. So what you're trying to there achieve will directly lead to that, because that's a consequence of that. So I think that's in a good angle. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. So you guys have kind of started with the use case, and now you've got to distill what is the root concept that underlies it, because, yeah.
I think what he's also saying is that a parent makes good decisions for the children in the same way AGA can make good decisions for the world. And so AGA is sort of like a parent, and it's coming from love. So I think it's a more a general concept as well.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Fantastic. Thank you. Team 1.2. Who will be our speaker? There we go.
I need to stand up.
You don't have to go to the front, but you should definitely stand up and speak to the rest of the room.
Okay. We think about one more problem that if we have a lot of resources, we can do specified model for each nation, for each country, because like if you live somewhere in Africa, it will be okay for you to eat people. Yeah, but ethical, yeah. But here it's not okay. So it's like whole basket of jobs to be done, to do, but yeah, I think this is the main idea for specialization to every nation.
Okay, so define an ethical code that actually speaks to a country's or to a specific culture.
Yeah.
Okay, very, very interesting. Thank you. Team 2.1.
We brainstormed. There's 2 use cases, one as a mental health counselor, and also the other one for the innovators with crazy ideas, for example. And then because it's kind of similar, and the AI can identify when they give their ideas or consult with this virtual counselor. It can give context on the location, what are the local laws going to be, and then they can identify whether it's a self-harm, whether it's endangering to other people, or this invention potentially maybe a criminal act for this time. And also at the end, we wanted to be able, for example, if this person keep coming back to this AI, it can predict where this is heading to. At the end, whether this is going to be for a good for humankind or it's going to be like destroying humankind, because then they can learn or get data predicting what these innovators gonna be, or even someone with a mental health problem, it could lead into a good innovation in the end, for example.
All right, thank you. Team 2.2.
So based on challenge 1, team 2.2 came up with 3 rules. First, humans above everything, well, life is precious, and if we cannot achieve the first rule, then the second rule is different culture, different ethics, like Alex mentioned, when on Africa they eat the corpse for menghormati itu apa? Huh? Oh yeah, for respect their ancestor, right? And if we cannot achieve both, then the AI is gonna use one of the ethic theory is utilitarianism. It's a theory that focus on outcome for the greater good. I mean, if we take back to the train case, if one of the rail is contain 4 people and the other one is 1, so how the AI decide with the utilitarianism theory to make the decision? Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Team 3.1.
Okay, maybe 3.1. You go first.
Yeah.
You go first.
If I could ask you to speak up so that the room can hear you.
Yeah, I will just share in general how I would approach this challenge in following 3 principles. First, truth. Second, empathy. And third is compromise. That's how I see a solution when 2 people come with different opinion and they have to choose to go left or to go right. How do they agree which decision to make? First is to answer the question, how can they know which decision is right? So both people have to present their information of what they know, what their assumption, what they expect on the left and what they expect on the right. And once those people put this information in front of each other and they can see each other assumptions, then it's much easier to come to agreement. Second is to find empathy. Even if those 2 people don't agree to go left or right, but they can find, I believe, everyone can find underlying something underlying in our humanity that unites us, the same basic motivations of love and safety. We can find those very fundamental fundamentals that we can agree on and then build on top of it. So third is compromise. When you see another person's opinion and his information and his underlying motivation, and then you both have an offer. But usually your offer, you have to do self-reflection to realize that your offer is the most beneficial to you and other person's offer is beneficial to him. So you're both trying to make it as much beneficial to only yourself. And the solution here is to find a middle ground where you adjust your offerings until they intersect. Like in trading book, when 2 offers, sell and buy, they intersect, they're executed. And I see how AI here as a language model is very good with working with reasoning, with motivations. So you can use it to present it different opinions and see how AI can help to find people the common ground. What is the shared motivations and what are the possible compromises that is acceptable to both parties. So, yes.
you want to add to that quickly? Yeah, sure.
Right, thank you. I think it's about reward. It's correct. But maybe my thought is about how do computers learn what is good and what is bad to decide to create a decision, right? So computers only learn 0, 1. They know which one is good, which one is bad, and which one is a gray area, and then that gray area can be branched out into good and bad again. So I think it's mostly like the algorithm may be more like reward and punishment. So for example, if in a certain country, as you guys mentioned, that this is for example, it's in a certain country, chewing gum maybe in Singapore is bad, right? But chewing gum here is not bad. And then if if we are in Singapore, if we have like chewing gum and then -1 or 0, and then if we like cross in a pedestrian cross is +1. So adding to like +1, +1, +1 is good. So it's like that's I think probably how can computers, or how we can train computers to have this approach of to decide to decide what is good and what is bad. Yes.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. And now for train 3.2, who would like to speak?
Okay, you want to go? I'd like to share on the practical side, on the tech side of implementing all of those brilliant ideas. So they're all good. There's nothing off limit here, but I'm just thinking maybe we have to, given the limited time that we have, use a model that get the ideas that you have and build a new model, train a new model, fine-tune it, and then apply some data set to use it for making decision about the ethical side. So what I can share is, I'm not sure on the tech people in this room, if you know Transformer Library, they have a BERT model. You get the BERT model, you need to create a data set, big enough, like 200 or 300 cases that shares the idea of ethical and unethical situations, whatever it is that you're looking for. And then based on the data set that you collected, you can generate that data set in ChatGPT, like 200 phrases, texts that you can use a model to process it using an NLP. What I can offer here, for example, we can use BERT based on case is one of the models that you can use. Apply the data set to it and get the result that you want. The new model that you generated from the pre-trained model that you use, which takes the whole thing probably 3 hours, 4 hours, even the limited time that you have, you can use it for the next sentence or situation or scenario that you can face based on the things that you have to decide, is this scenario, is this new situation, is it ethical or unethical? So step 1, take any pre-trained model available from Transformer. Step 2, fine-tune it based on the concept that you have, eating people or not eating people. And then create a data set of like 200 lines, like 200 sentences that is a combination of ethical and unethical situations. And then feed that data set to the new model and generate a new fine-tuned model. And then at the end, you will have, after like 3 hours, 4 hours, depending on the processing power that you have here, you have a new model that can decide, since this is about AI, it can decide and be used as it deciding about the current scenario, the next scenario that coming, is it ethical or unethical? So that's my 2 cents here.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that point of view. And I think what we got to observe from this first round is that, well, the main subject that we're dealing with in challenge 1 is really right or wrong. Is how does the AI determine what's right, what's wrong? And what some of the teams also brought up is that right or wrong isn't necessarily a what's it called, like a global concept. We're talking about different cultures, that different behaviors, different customs are right in some countries and are wrong in other countries. So challenge 1, the 2 teams, that's really what you're going to be working on, is the concept of right or wrong. You've got some amazing insights on how you can already build and train a model on making ethical decisions. And the second layer that you've already started exploring is localizing ethics. It's something that can work in the States, may not work in Indonesia. So how do you stay aware of the localization of ethics while you're developing your solution? And can your solution essentially adapt itself to where it's being deployed or the types of people that consult with the model? Amazing exercise 1. I'd now like to move on to exercise number 2. Challenge number 2, developing an empathy module. So empathy is all about relating to other people on an emotional level. Challenge 1, we're talking about morality, what's right, what's wrong. Challenge 2 is empathy. How do we get an AI, how do we get a machine to actually connect with humans or to connect with problems on a heart level? How do we get it to understand and respond to human emotions effectively? This is probably one of the most challenging parts of the AGA model because we're tapping on a very non-binary aspect of the development here. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. You heard the cue at the end. I'm going to do this. And then how it works is I'm not going to stop until the room goes quiet. So if you're one of the first to go quiet, remember that you're being the good person. I'm pulling ethics here. If you're the last one to stop talking, you're annoying everybody because the bell keeps on going. So when you hear the bell, it'll be super respectful for everybody to just quiet down right away so that we can begin with the sharing session. And the timer starts right now. Yeah, turn it down, yeah? Let me get so could we turn that aircon down a little bit?
Okay. The third one, yeah?
Yeah, the third one. Maybe that can go off because the rest need to stay on, otherwise it's going to get too hot. So maybe just that one. Thank you.
Talking louder.
You have 1 minute left. Hungry for knowledge.
Knowledge. Like intermittent fasting.
No, just 24 hours. It's way easier than you think, man.
Trying to lose weight.
No, just for good practice, man. Yeah.
I would not.
No, it's way easier than you think. I did it 2 weeks ago, and then I thought it would be tough, and then you just realize that you're actually completely fine.
It's a nicotine diet.
Yeah. Your mate. Yeah, it's like, when people do weird things around you, then you look at your friend and you say, your mate.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Your mate. No. Yeah, no, not my mate. Your mate. Yeah. Cool. We're going to be done in the next 20, 30 minutes. Yeah. That's perfect.
1 hour lunch.
Yeah. Exactly. So then how does it work from here? So it's like, okay, cool. People have lunch, then they have access to the facilities for as long as they want. And then we meet them again for lunchtime tomorrow.
Lunch we start the show.
Okay. Yeah. So we start at 2 p.m., yeah?
Mm-hmm. Which one is lunch?
Yeah. Perfect.
Can you go back?
No, going back to Pandan. No. Yeah. Thank you. I believe we have the microphone still on right here. Okay, fantastic. So we're going to start it backwards this time, make it more fun. We're going to start at team 3.2. Please tell us about your idea to solve the empathy problem when it
Forever,
comes to
yes.
AI.
So how to solve it forever? No problem. No. So I take the visionary part, and then we take another step 1 part. So I believe true empathy only exists if the body mind of 2 entities react in the same way. So I would argue we would need to give some sort of neurochemical enablement to the AGA to somehow also feel like we do. I don't know how. You will figure it out, no problem, table 2. But I think this would be like the underlying capability of the system to have true empathy and not only artificial empathy. So this would be my take.
I want to clap for that one.
So my idea to develop empathy model is the first step. We should use sentiment analysis to recognize if someone have a problem or something else, and use computer vision to recognize if he's sad or angry or something. Maybe we can find in body texture, like I don't know, and maybe in the voice, if he tell to the computer in the high tone or lower tone, maybe we can find it to know he get wrong, something have a problem like that. Maybe that is the part to find to develop empathy model. Thank you very much.
Okay, so a few key points here. So the idea from our side is, and I don't know if that's clearly defined for the challenge here, but that is a one-on-one model, so that one can kind of feed in and get feedback on, on let's say what one wants to improve one's understanding on. And so the idea is to train the model on basic archetypes and archetypes and basically cultural understanding and social understanding within different cultures, religions, and that includes also then, let's say, sense of humor and what's the ways of communicating within different cultures, etc., and also within different personality types and what can be considered to be rude, hurtful, etc. And then the idea would be for the user to go through a basic interview to understand, so the AI understands the person who's the user as good as possible, and then afterwards then have the possibility for, let's say, on the basis of oral or written communication that can be fed into the AI program or the model, it can help to guide how to show and recognize and show more empathy towards who everyone is struggling with. So that's the core.
In 3.2.
Yeah, hi. Thank you. So when we were thinking about this model, we just asked ourselves what emotions are. So based on that, we divided in on a few steps that our face shows emotions, our eyes, voice, and also language, words that we use to express our emotions. So based on that, it's a quite very similar to other teams presented. We wanted to create different portraits for each emotions, what their face should look like, what their eyes should look like, what common words they use to express each emotion. And based on that portrait, we will teach our AI to recognize it. And in case of for example, psychopath, we discussed it, how we can understand that the psychopath is a psychopath. Well, something in this scenario of face, eyes, voice, and language is not matching. Their eyes can be like empty or something. Maybe their voice is not matching. So based on that, our AI can understand that there's something wrong with this person. Or maybe if he's like smiling, but his voice is not like also smiling. So the AI will understand that something is wrong and we should help. The second approach or rule we will use is to AI try to understand and ask additional questions to understand the context, because the context of the whole situation is very important to provide a very like complex and helpful decision or from AI. So yes, I guess that's it. Thank you.
So our team started with the big question, apart from supporting a mental health, where can empathetic AI helping us? And then we are thinking about what if it's specialized in the grief counseling, for example. And now could be, like, for example, we have a lot of loved ones that can fit their consciousness now into an AI that maybe in the future when they pass away, because everyone's going to be passing away, right? And it can be used as softening the blow of the loss as well. So it could be like a more like a grief management, something like that. And another usage of that is we saw like having an empathy is harder. It's less and less each generation. And this would be the right time to start gathering empathy from people who live this day. That maybe 100 years down the line, that it's still all the values from our ancestor or our parents now and our generation as well still can live on down the lines. So that's the big picture of it. But for this exercise or this hackathon, we're thinking is similar with the Team 2.2, where when it's about when we're talking about empathy or being listened to, context is very important. So for the AI, it's not only about giving the response, but also giving like follow-up questions to gather as much as context as we can to make the person, the human, feel understood. And also before we decide on their sentiment analysis and giving the right response, because it could be the very first reaction is anger, that it stems from more of the place of fear or insecurity. So before the AI can analyze that and giving the right responses, then we need to establish the context as first. Thank you.
In 1.2.
I would like to add, I think important to keep in mind that emotions are not objective. They don't objectively exist. So I think, so what objectively exists is physiological responses, right? Like heartbeat rate, breath rate, and I think so. I think the most plausible theory is that physiologically there are just two simple dimensions: the level of arousal, like how sort of excited we are, and the second dimension is whether we are pulled in and how much, or pulled away from something. Whether we are in the state, oh, we are in terror, it's high arousal, and pull away, and like excitement and maybe love, it's like high arousal and pull towards. But all other names for emotions like embarrassment, I don't know, guilt, whatever, they're all culturally they also depend on this linguistic and cultural context, and they are contextual for particular culture and language. And therefore, I think for AI, like if we analyze like video stream and audio stream, and like can see what is the color of the face of a person, like what is the tone of voice, like how it changes over time, and what is the rate of breathing, like how frequently they breathe in, like when they speak. I think this can tell AI quite easily. I think there are already models that can very well gauge like what is the physiological levels, but then there is a question, how do you combine this with this more like contextual side of things?
So I would say we are more on the same ground as a team too, but the idea was more of implementation of the module in different areas. You know, to give the example why we talked with everyone on our table on team one. let's say you are seeking counseling, right? You are looking for the solution, but let's say you are not, right? So, for example, you ask any question or you Google any question, any information in specific way, right? You can already detect that maybe person needs some help or maybe add some encouragement, you know? So that way, it's more of a use and implementation of one step ahead, you know? You have the detection, let's say, from text, right? So context detection, like Team 2 said, you can ask additional questions, or you can just give, let's say, small additional push for person to react by themselves, not putting them in the confrontational position, so to say. And this way, it can be used, let's say, analyzing the context of social media, someone's Instagram. You have many photos. You can detect the changes in the person's, mood, maybe the physical conditions, and so on. So you can basically provide preventively, like one step ahead. I don't know, encouragement, questions, support, or I don't know, put some information, you know, like the person found it themselves. So giving some help subconsciously to people by understanding their state in the moment, so to say.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is super insightful. I mean, we kind of started with a bit of biochemistry there. Had an argument that we needed to create essentially a new type of computer that ran on some form of biology to be able to create this kind of like organic flow of energy, to be able to really pick up on what empathy is. We had big chats on this morning on the concept of sentience. What do you define as a sentient being? What possesses sentience even in our universe? We were on the argument that everything possesses sentience, so even metals can be sentient in a way, and therefore you can run that concept with non-organics and still be able to monitor kind of electrical flows through it. Then we moved on to something quite interesting, and this is something I wanted to share with all of you on the concept of empathy and the concept of active listening. Because empathy starts with active listening, is actually being open to the person that's communicating with you. And the Chinese have a symbol called ting, and ting is to listen. And if you study the symbol itself, when they speak about listening, it's not just about listening with your ears. It's listening with your eyes. It's listening with your heart. It's listening with your consciousness. It's listening through every single sense that you have. And that's where empathy really starts. You really start to connect with the other person, and you're reading between the lines, and you're starting to feel where the other person comes from. Based on that full understanding of them, that's when you start having empathy, and the response from an empathetic impression is some form of act of compassion. And therefore, how do you respond to that person on that level? How does the machine respond back? Being aware that it's not just the words that it's going to use, it's going to be the tone of voice, it's going to be the tempo. It might come with some physical contact that comes with it too. The last point which teams 1 brought up, which is super important, is context. And that when we look at emotions, we have what you could call natural emotions, emotions that every life form kind of possesses naturally. So some things that we share with animals, fight or flight, anger, fear, things like that. And then you have social emotions, emotions that we've been taught by society and that different cultures have different interpretations on. And what will be interesting for Team 2, or the teams that are doing Challenge 2, is to understand emotions as being different layers. You have the natural emotions, and then you have the social construct emotions. How do you work with that? How do you navigate those? And how do you essentially code and teach your AI to be able to really feel the person through all of the dimensions that they need to be felt? If you want to go super intrusive, you could just say, well, listen, we just want to monitor every single thing that runs through that person's smartphone. Because if you're listening to their microphone the whole time, if you're literally pulling all of the data that's on their smartphone 24/7, you're going to be able to have like ultra empathetic responses but then what are the ethics around monitoring people to that level? So very, very cool challenge for you guys. Thank you to all of you for sharing your ideas and your views. And now we're moving on to challenge 3, conflict resolution. So how do we create a conflict resolution module for AGA? Just a quick experience on this. I studied this model. It's called collaboration, reciprocity, and forgiveness. And it was actually used during a bot battle like many, many years ago, where different developers had to build a very simple model to win a battle between bots. And it had to run on specific protocols. And the robot that won the battle and collected the most amount of points ran on the concept of collaboration, reciprocity, and forgiveness, meaning that it went to the other robots first and it said, hey, listen, do you want to work together? If the first robot said yes, then they worked together and then they moved forward. If it said no and started conflict, it would create conflict back on the exact same degree. So if it gave like a medium punch, it would give a medium punch back, and went forward with reciprocity until the other robot essentially just said like, stop, we need to find something else. And then it would apply the forgiveness module and saying, well, listen, I forgive you, I'll forget the past. Do you want to collaborate? So 3 very simple instructions that essentially broke the whole game and took over much, much more powerful modules or much more powerful robots. So when you're thinking about conflict resolution, is essentially what is the formula that you're going to create to promote peaceful resolution and to get essentially people to work together again. This is team 3. I can see you guys are like smiling, half smiling about it already. I'm sure you've been thinking about it already. Super interesting. It's about obviously, you know, promoting peace, promoting collaboration. And in many instances, well, the world is made of conflict. We experience conflict on a daily basis. So how are you going to navigate something that's essentially ingrained in the world that we live in? You guys have 5 + 1 minute to come up with your solution, and then we'll share it with all the teams starting now.
I know that you have to games. I try to simulate like how say India versus Russia, like nowadays. It's something that's really but if we can find some try to quantify everything like number of deaths, number of resources that we use that maybe it's that later on we can build more analytical elaborate
Probably because that you have same points there. You have the AI and the cases, right? And yeah, it makes it help. Not good because and loss for everyone. It doesn't matter if you are a good decision or bad decision. Okay, yeah. To give you example, I don't know, but let's say you have conflict or the issue. Society has unemployment or homeless or break up solution. So this is like very, very simple conflict resolution approach, like massively break amount of issue, remove issue, how to then it's also I think it's like my idea is basically easy, but let's say you dissect it like person, right? It is suppose you see, okay, they have some problem. You have, you can dissect it towards cause, feelings, and potential or argumentation, like arguments, right? Why it can be
basically make other side understand this. And when they set the conflict towards like faith, then maybe I wouldn't say they usually if you have conflict, it's not happening friendly. On the receiving.
Selena. Yeah.
It's more about creating sustainable incentive models for developers. And there is some contributions, but it's based on one part is says, I want to be
Everything good? We're going to move on. So we're going to do the review now. And then we're going to do the briefing for the outputs. And then from there, cool, lunch. Everyone's free. Enjoy yourselves. See you in 24 hours. Cool. And then we'll start at 2 p.m. then tomorrow. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Welcome to idea sharing, challenge number 3. We're almost done with our team activities. So we're going to be sharing the ideas starting from table 2 because they're the ones that are still talking. So you guys just won the first spot on the microphone. Microphone is still with table 1, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, it's back here. Fantastic. Yeah. All right. So we're going to go starting table 2.1 or group 2.1. Tell us how you plan on addressing conflict resolution using the power of AI.
Okay, from our team, we got an idea about sentiment analysis, so we can normalize parameter from social media. With the topic is we can who are they, their social interaction, connection from their track record, from their historical, and the outcome. And the outcome is AI can be conflict mediation in social media. In social media, with they give a reward and punishment from the interaction from the track record of their social account, and AI can recognize their text trigger. Maybe, yeah. So That's for me. Thank you.
Go 2.2.
Okay, so about the conflicts, well, our first initial thought was about personal conflicts, like family conflicts, friends and stuff. And we were thinking about doing like a messenger, because a lot of times for us, it's very hard to do resolution like face to face, because we are very emotional, we can be very mean and stuff. So the AI will be very helpful in that case, because in text we are more expressive, we're more talkative, and we are less emotional. So what can we do? We can do like a messenger. There will be different layers of dialogues. First is dialogue with person one, person two, or every person that are in conflict with AI. AI will ask initial, it will have a list of questions of what is the problem? What do you think is the problem? What do you feel about it? What do you think that the other person is wrong and stuff? What do we need it? We needed to get a context, of course, and to get something to start from. Then we will separate these people to personal dialogues. It will be person one plus AI. AI will ask, it will be a selective listener. It will ask more questions to get more context from the problem. And what it will do, it will translate their messages from like emotional style to more kind way, so like more neutral, because a lot of times people just say very emotional stuff that are not actually quite necessary for this kind of conflict. And AI will just transform this message to a more informative way. It will understand what is the problem, and is there a problem, because a lot of times people conflict because they just don't hear each other and they don't understand that they are talking about the same thing. And then after AI will communicate with each person individually, they will get back to first dialogue when all the parties will be plus AI. And in this dialogue, it will be like a conclusion dialogue. AI will retell the situation from their like third party point of view, and they will, I'm not sure that it will be like a solution, but it will be like recommendations, of course. For example, it will give some recommendations. For example, now both of you are very emotional, and you have to not to try to resolve your conflict right now. You have to like get back, give some time, like for, I don't know, 1 hour, and then get back and try to discuss it again. So yeah, thank you. That's it.
Okay, so yeah, from I agree with a lot of the things that you just said there, and like kind of how I envision it. So I'm envisioning, so first of all, I mean, the essence of, I think all these challenges is basically to bring understanding, like understand each other better, and yeah, that's a core concept. And I think for a conflict resolution software, whether it is for small conflict, like with the family or friends, or like on social media, for example, or whether it's like a real bigger conflict, whether it's business or something else that's significant, that could go to court and have serious consequences, or whether it's a diplomatic conflict, all of these are kind of, they could have some of the same elements, but they would obviously need to be formed a little bit differently. I imagine, similar to what you say, like mediation. So this is basically mediation software, as I see it. So it's basically having like an AI program instead of a real human being, but somebody who clearly doesn't favor any of the parties. And it's a like you also said, like it's a group chat, and where both sides can at any time go back and forth and chat in public, but also chat with the AI separately. And then, so the AI that needs to ask questions, try to really understand the deeper motivations, and I also try to understand where do they stand, what actual real life arguments do they have, what rights do they have, because it's not enough to just have something which is like it sounds good in theory. This has to be down to earth. It has to be something that actually understands that human beings are not necessarily just going to get along just because some AI software tells them to. So it has to really understand the situation and then try to bring up arguments, but also be ready to go back and forth and try to dig deeper and understand what really drives things, because there can be so many different elements in any conflict, and sometimes each party, they don't even know what's the main thing that triggers them. It could be even that, let's say, it's a man who's negotiating, and maybe it's his wife who's actually, pushing him to do something or whatever. It's like, it can be very hard to actually find out what's really going on. So the more data can be fed in and the better trained it is on human understanding, of course, the more helpful it is. And also one has to find out how eager is each party to resolve the challenge. And then ultimately, it needs to try to make you empathize with the other side, try to really understand where they're coming from. So ultimately also what can be resolved and what can you maybe not resolve at this point. And yeah, that's last point, I think, is that if it's going to be really good, it has to make each party feel like they're in a little bit weaker position than they really are, and make them convinced that the other party is in a little bit stronger position, because then you have a bigger chance of actually succeeding. All right, that's all from my side.
Can I go first?
Okay, so I'm focusing on the practical side of this challenge. Again, all the ideas are valid and very good, but given the limited time that we have, we need to present something presentable. Given that we have, I identified the challenge here in the two parts, identifying the conflict first and offering the resolution. For identification, I use a pre-trained model from BERT again, and I used token classification to extract as many tokens that can be considered good or bad for identifying conflict as I could. So I just generated a bunch of text with ChatGPT as a data set, feed them to the pre-trained model, and created my own fine-tuned model to use it for identifying the conflict. The result was good. The accuracy was about like 98%. That happened yesterday. And then while I was celebrating and I was happy, I tried to feed the dialogue from British TV show, any British TV show, to that model that I created to see how it works actually. As you know, since there is no British here, and I apologize, I don't mean any insult or anything, but the British culture, they exchange insults in a very polite way. So that's the problem. My model could not differentiate between insult, conflict, and other range of emotions and feelings that it could. So basically it just went to shit. That 98% accuracy means nothing when it is about culture. And that's the challenge that I'm facing today. First, I need to fix the cultural issues in my model number one. The model number two is even more challenging, because after you assuming that you recognize the conflict correctly, the second step is to offer a solution, to offer the resolution to resolve the conflict. This is even harder, because you have two ways to do that. Number one is to just hard code every single scenario into your code base and just offer a solution manually, which is not a very good solution, because after a while the code base grows so big that it's unmaintainable and it's not something that you can rely on. The second resolution is to use another pre-trained model, so you can save like weeks of time, and then fine-tune it again based on the resolution that you can offer for that specific module that we have here. This is challenge number two that I'm working today. And to be specific, I will not work on human interaction or face-to-face conversation or any video or camera facial recognition issues. I'm purely working on the text conflict resolution, because I believe let's just do one thing and do it right, rather than offering and promising something that I cannot deliver today.
or tomorrow. So today will be focused, and tomorrow will be focused around building and pre-training two models that I have that make it work actually with the challenge, with the time that we have here. That's my system. Thank you so much.
I can add a bit bad news and a good news.
But I'll just carry the microphone.
More bad news is to detect conflict is especially difficult, as often two parties who have a conflict are not aware that they have a conflict. One party especially often doesn't know that the other party has a conflict with it already. So there will be quite a challenge around it. And the good news is there are plenty of models out there already, a lot of theory and practical experience and studies to categorize conflicts in certain ways, and then different strategies of trying to solve them. One you described, but there are many others. So I think the good news is we can feed very practical experiences of both detecting conflict and different conflict solving strategies into those models, I hope. Amen.
Okay, I want to say a few words about moral side of all this stuff, because when I think about conflict resolution, it's when we want to efficiently resolve some conflict, we need a lot of data to know about two sides of the conflict. We need to know what's their education, what's their relationship, maybe some deal with money on their bank accounts or something else. So if we talk about super good machine that resolve every conflict, it should like know everything about us, like totally everything. And after this, this machine can give us some solution that will be good for both sides. But what's the price? That's
Okay, so basically to extend a bit the idea of team two that explained, not just having chat. Okay, to give props to Vlad, he suggested like, okay, technically the challenge 3 is the use case of challenge 1 and 2. So to understand the conflict, you have to understand what other side is feeling or what they are expecting or what state are they in. But to simplify, right, because not having solution for challenge 1 and 2, you have to have some use case. And the idea would be probably the perfect negotiator, right? So you understand that you have the conflict. Detection of the conflict is one thing, but maybe people, they have it and they cannot resolve it, right? So they come to you and they, a simple case would be biased HR, right? They try to be like follow some guidelines, but people come with the conflict and they try to resolve it in best possible way. So you have two sides, they have the problem. You try to equalize them to explain in the same conditions, like what Alex just explained. Like you have to understand what each side are standing in, right? So you explain to them, okay, so this is equivalent of what the other side feels to you, basically. To give like more understandable example, you have two people from different cultures, like completely different cultures, more detailed, like different religions, right? And one phrase can mean nothing for one side, but it can be extremely offensive for the other side. So if you explain to them what it means to other side, they will probably understand, okay, maybe I shouldn't have said it, maybe I shouldn't have done it, and so on. And then if you take like, okay, this is like resolution of the conflict, you have to understand, you cannot say like, oh, this is best for everyone. More simple way is like, okay, what is your expectation to go out from this conflict, and both sides provide some information, and you try to find the middle ground for both, maybe by probing, like give some edge, okay, and drop down, like maybe, okay, not apologize, koto, like in the Japan, but okay, maybe you just sincere apology from one side, and so on. So basically, you have the some black box that receives the conflict, tries to explain the conflict to both sides, asks for the solution, the expectations, and tries to find the middle ground for both sides. Yeah, thank you.
So for those of you that were paying attention, you would have probably realized something that came up, and group one really brought it up, is that your modules don't really operate as closed cells. They don't really operate independently from each other. If you want your module to operate at peak performance, it's going to have to communicate with the other organs. And this is why we look at AGA as an organism, just like the human body. Each organ actually communicates with each other all the time. And so this is something for you to consider while you're developing your solution, is how much support are you actually going to need from organ number 2, organ number 1, while you're trying to create the best possible solution for yourself. We're talking about conflict resolution. Conflict resolution requires empathy. It requires understanding the other party. It requires understanding base concepts of morality. We're talking about culture. Culture is something that's come up for each of the teams. How are you going to address culture? Because you've got to respect people's cultures, because that's their code. That's how they see the world, they interact with the world, and that's essentially their internal compass for everything that they do. So you've got things like culture. You've got things like looking at the other modules to understand how your module is going to perform on a peak level. When we talk about conflict resolution, you guys are talking about things like mediators, negotiators. That's exactly what it's about. The AGA model is supposed to be that character. And when we're talking about negotiations, and this is something that you can probably also code quite nicely, is everyone says like, oh no, negotiation is not about win-lose, it's about win-win. But win-win is actually a zero-sum game. It's the same as lose-lose. And when I did my MBA in South Africa, I was taught by the counselor of Nelson Mandela, who was there throughout his whole journey to freedom, getting out of prison and going from being jailed for 27 years to becoming the president of South Africa overnight. There's an amazing book called Bargaining with the Devil that I invite all of you guys to read. It's a bunch of stories around people who have accomplished extraordinary things through the power of mediation and negotiation. And the concept that was taught to us is the win more model. And the win more model is actually bringing the two parties in conflict together and looking for a solution that none of them had thought of yet, that actually creates even more value for both parties. A very simple example is, imagine got two people sitting at a table, look at the person opposite you, there's a cake in the middle. The brief is split the cake. You could argue that a win-win is we each take half of the cake. That's an equal distribution. But actually, you're both losing because you're each only getting half of a cake instead of a full one. If you want 60%, the other person has 40%. There's no, I'm giving you the cake because I don't want it. You both want the full cake. So how do you create a win more outcome? One of the solutions is to take the cake, sell it, buy the ingredients, and make two more. It may sound silly, but you're creating a true win more concept like that. And you're actually going beyond just having a full cake. You just created a business. And so when you guys are looking at conflict resolution, switching from a win-win mindset to win more mindset creates this amazing outcome where you're going from not just making peace, you're creating unity between the two parties, because you have this mutual self-interest that's actually elevates the whole scenario. So that was a little bit of experience that I get to share with you guys. I'd like to thank every single one of you for contributing to this brainstorming session. We purposefully made it a group exercise so that you can benefit from the other teams that you're not really going to engage with over the next 24 hours. Of course, our mentors are still there. We've got Vlad, we've got Nicholas, we've got Camille that's online available for you at any time. What I would invite you to do is, if you think that there's a dependency on your model on another module, then perhaps you guys can create a little bit of time to actually speak amongst each other. Collaboration is really key here. We're not competing in the true sense of the term. We're here to leverage each other's minds, each other's expertise to create a bunch of actionable solutions that are going to end up working together anyway. So if you consider that during the hackathon, then your idea has an even higher chance of being accepted by the entire organism. I'm going to show you guys what your output is going to be for tomorrow. So this is going to be shared on the Discord channel. And what we'd like to receive from you is essentially just a very small slideshow that's going to help you create your narrative and lead with your story as you move towards the final coded solution. So first of all, which challenge did you select and what motivated this choice? Your rationale is extremely important to understand where you come from and how that rationale is going to guide the idea that you're creating. How did you interpret the challenge? What did the challenge mean to you? What are the different aspects of the challenge that you looked at, and which one did you decide to focus on? Which aspects were the most important to you? Which aspects were, let's say, the foundational elements of that problem that you choose to take on first? Of course, knowing that you have limited amount of time to deliver a solution. Once again, we're able to track your thinking process, and this is really important. Next, present the architectural diagram outlining the solution. So before we move on to the code, we want you guys to literally take a pen and paper or do a very simple flow chart of how you're processing ideas into the final outcome. How do you start with a problem? How do you get to the solution? This architecture underpins essentially what your code is going to look like. So really do a first map. It may be messy, it may be complicated, that's completely okay. And then interrogate your diagram and see how you can make it more elegant, more simple. As we know, simplicity is one of the hardest things to achieve. So give yourself that time before you move into coding, because that's going to make your execution a whole lot easier to produce. And then finally, we want you guys to showcase front end by doing a live demo featuring the running application. It doesn't have to be crazy fancy, but we do want to have a user experience so that everybody can kind of play with it and we can see how a regular user would be able to interact with your initial solution. And then, of course, we want you to walk us through the back end and explain how you ran your coding so that the technical minds here can actually see and appreciate how you developed the solution. We've got the repositories. Everything is being shared with you on Discord. We've got the support team that's there to answer any of the questions that you have. We have the panelists. And with all of that, I would like to thank every single one of you for being here today and participating in the AGA First Hackathon. So how the program runs for the next 24 hours. We have lunch ready for you. You guys have access to these facilities for as long as you need. I think they're open 24/7, so you can spend the night here if you'd like. You can go off-site and work at the beach. There's absolutely no problem. You can go get wasted in Canggu tonight if you finished early. That's also fine. We will meet up tomorrow at 1 p.m. for lunch. What?
No, almost all good. We are 24/7.
Yeah.
You feel free to use the space. This is your floor. You can go to the cafe area or to the rooftop, up to you. The second floor is reserved for teams.
Other people.
Okay. Work. So that's what we do. You have your rooms assigned. If anyone needs your accommodation, ping me, but I guess we are all sorted. Part of us live in Bali. Lunch is in our calendars. I hope everybody saw invitations and how things work. at 1, again, cafe area, and dinner is there or join Chango.
Yeah. So there we go. So you have, this is your room. You have the ground floor, 1 second. You have access to 3 mentors who will be there throughout the duration of this event. Lunch is served downstairs at 1 p.m. 24 hours from now, lunch will be served again at 1 p.m. downstairs. And then at 2 p.m. sharp, we will start with the team presentations from here and run the rest of the afternoon until we have our closing ceremony. So Alex, come join me on stage. This is your show, man. So big thank you to Alex and his team for making this event happen. And good luck to you all.
So, I mean, how we are going to spend our coming 24 hours is going to be crucial. Do it as effective as we can. So I wish everybody the best. Go fully for it because we are going to use this code. This code is going to get used in the world. So I say, go fully for it. That's my pleasure.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And this is the bell of freedom.
Here we go.
Like ideally, they're ancient. Doesn't have to be Western.